Yucca was a small and quiet village hidden in the green hills of the F Kingdom. The people there lived simple lives. They farmed their land, fetched water from the stream, and sat together in the evenings to talk and laugh. Everyone in Yucca knew each other. If something happened to one person, the whole village would hear about it by morning. That was how fast news traveled in Yucca. But things were not peaceful anymore. For many months, a strange fear had taken over the village. Young women were being found dead one after the other. Nobody knew what was killing them, but one thing was always the same: the strange marks on their necks, 2 small, deep holes. They looked like snake bites, but no one had ever seen a snake around when the women were found. It was like the deaths were happening in secret, and that made it even more frightening. The village chief, Chief Obi, sent hunters into the forest to search for the snake. They stayed in the bush for days, looking under trees, rocks, and inside holes. But they came back with nothing. No snake, no clues. And still, the deaths did not stop. The fear in the village grew stronger. Mothers warned their daughters, "Do not go out at night." Even in the daytime, the women no longer felt safe. Yucca used to be full of life. Now it was quiet, too quiet. People no longer trusted each other like before. But one person in the village didn't seem to care about the fear. His name was Chima. If you asked any woman in Yucca who the most handsome man was, they would all say the same name: Chima. He was tall and strong. His body showed the hard work he did as a builder. His dark skin was smooth. His eyes were sharp and shiny, like he always knew a secret. And his smile was powerful. His smile alone could make a woman feel weak in the knees. Chima had something special, a charm, a power. It wasn't just his good looks. It was the way he walked, the way he spoke, the way he made each woman feel important. When he passed by, the women giggled and blushed. If he looked at them, they felt like the sun had just come out to shine only on them. And Chima knew this. He knew how handsome he was. He knew how to use his sweet words. He used his charm like a trap. He always looked confident. His eyes were always searching for his next woman. The women of Yucca were drawn to him like ants to sugar. He had a deep, smooth voice like the calm before a storm. He always knew just what to say. He didn't rush. He took his time. He made each woman feel safe. He made them trust him. And once they trusted him, he would take them to his hut. Chima's hut was at the edge of the village, away from everyone's eyes. He always brought the women there at night. Under the light of the moon, Chima worked his magic. He was gentle and sweet. He made each woman feel like she was the only one in the world. But when the night became darker, Chima would ask a strange question. "Do you know the difference between a man's manhood and a snake?" The women never knew what to say. Most of them laughed, thinking it was a silly joke. But before they could answer, Chima would whistle, a soft, scary sound. The air would feel strange. The women would suddenly feel cold. Even though nothing had changed, and then it happened. They would feel something smooth and cold on their skin. A snake dark and dangerous would come out from Chima's trousers. Yes, from there. The snake would slither out and wrap itself around the woman, slowly, carefully, like it was playing with her. The women were too scared to scream or run. The fear froze their bodies. The snake would wrap tighter, and then strike. 2 sharp fangs into the neck. Always the same bite. Deep, fast, deadly. The poison worked quickly. Within minutes, the woman's body would shake, and then go still. She was dead. Chima would stand there quiet, looking at her lifeless body. His face had no emotion. He felt nothing. By morning, the woman's body would be found in the village square, cold, pale, and with those same 2 bite marks on her neck. The villagers would gather around, shocked and sad. They always asked the same question: what kind of snake did this? But no one ever suspected Chima. He was too perfect, too charming, too beautiful. They could not believe someone like him could do something so dark. Each time another woman died, the village became more afraid. But Chima kept living his life like nothing was wrong. Women still smiled at him when he walked by. Some even wished it was them he would notice next without knowing that death was what waited behind his sweet smile. And then something happened that would change everything. One day, a new woman arrived in Yucca. Her name was Adanna. She came to visit her aunt who lived on the edge of the village. Adanna was different. She was tall, graceful, and very beautiful. Her skin shone like polished wood. Her eyes were calm. Her face was soft. But there was a kind of quiet power in the way she walked. Chima noticed her the first time he saw her at the village well. She was standing there pouring water into her pot. Unlike the other women, Adanna did not look at him. She did not giggle. She didn't even smile. She acted like he wasn't special. Chima was surprised. He was used to women falling for him. But Adanna looked past him like he was just another man, and that made Chima want her. He had to have her. From that day on, Chima watched her closely. She became the new target of his charm. But he didn't know that Adanna was not like the others. She was not going to fall into his trap so easily. And what Chima didn't know was that this time, the hunter was about to become the prey. From the moment Adanna came to Yucca, Chima had one goal: he wanted her. She was the only woman who didn't smile at him, didn't blush, didn't act like he was special. She didn't giggle when he walked past. She didn't look impressed by his body or his smooth voice. That made her different. That made her dangerous. Chima had always been in control. Women were easy for him. All it took was one look, one sweet word, and they were his. But Adanna was not falling for any of his tricks. She stayed calm, polite, and distant. This made Chima more obsessed. He began to follow her. He watched her when she fetched water, when she went to the farm with her aunt, when she walked to the market. But Adanna never gave him more than a soft hello or a simple nod. He became angry, but he also became more careful. He changed his plan. Chima stopped talking to her. He stopped showing interest, acted cold, like he had lost interest. But this was a game. He wanted to draw her in slowly, to make her curious, and it worked. After some time, Adanna noticed the change in his behavior. One evening, she walked past his hut and stopped. Chima was sitting outside, sharpening his tools. The air was quiet. The sky was orange with the setting sun. "You've been quiet lately," Adanna said calmly. Chima smiled a little, but said, "Nothing much." He gave short answers, showing no excitement. This made Adanna more curious. She agreed to take a walk with him. That evening, they walked through the village path, talking. Chima kept his voice soft, his words simple. He pretended to be a different man, gentle, respectful, calm, slowly. Adanna's guard began to fall. Over the next few days, she smiled more. She laughed a little. She seemed more relaxed around Chima. She no longer looked at him like he was a threat. Chima knew the moment had come. One night, under a quiet sky, Chima invited Adanna to his hut. "Let's spend a quiet evening," said. Adanna agreed. They walked together to the edge of the village where his hut stood. The air felt heavy. The moon was high in the sky. A small oil lamp flickered, casting soft shadows on the walls. Chima poured palm wine into 2 small cups. His voice was low and smooth. "You're different from the others," he said. "You're strong, special." Adanna smiled faintly, watching him. Chima moved closer. His hand brushed hers gently. He leaned in, his voice now almost a whisper. "Do you know the difference between a man's manhood and a snake?" Adanna looked confused. She tilted her head slightly. "What?" Before she could finish her question, Chima began to whistle. A strange, soft sound filled the room. It was low, but sharp. The air became tense. Adanna's eyes slowly shifted to Chima's lap. Then she saw it. From the darkness of his trousers, something began to move. A snake. Long, black, smooth. It slithered out slowly, its eyes glowing in the dim light. It coiled itself around her leg, then her waist. Adanna froze. Her heart pounded. She had heard about the deaths. She had heard the stories. And now she knew the truth. It was him. It had always been him. Chima's face showed no fear. You watched. Her with cold eyes, like this was normal. The snake moved up her body, ready to strike. But then, something unexpected happened. Adanna reached under her wrapper. Her hands were steady. From inside, she pulled out a small white flute. Simple, carved from bone. Before Chima could react, she raised it to her lips and blew. The sound that came out was not sweet. It was sharp, piercing. It cut through the air like a knife. The snake stopped, froze in place, confused. Its tongue flicked in and out. Its head turned towards Adanna. She blew again. The snake pulled back. It slowly unwrapped itself from her body. It turned and began slithering back toward Chima. No, Chima shouted, stepping back. But the snake didn't listen. Its eyes were now fixed on Chima. It hissed. It rose up and then it struck fast. The snake wrapped around Chima's chest, around his arms, his neck, squeezed. Hard. Chim gasped. Stop, stop. How? How are you doing this? Adanna stood still. Her face was calm, her eyes cold. She looked him in the eye and spoke softly. You are not the only one with a secret. Chima's eyes widened. His face turned red. The snake was squeezing tighter. He fell to his knees, could not breathe. Adanna stepped closer. Many months ago, my sister came to this village, she said. Her name was Amara. She trusted you. She came to your hut. She never came back. Chima's eyes grew wide with horror. She was the first, Adanna continued. And I was sent to find out what happened. Chima tried to speak, but the snake's grip was too tight. He could only make choking sounds. Adanna lifted the flute again. One final blow. The sound filled the hut. The snake hissed loudly and then struck again, this time biting Chima's neck. The same place he had bitten all those women, Chima's body. Shook, he gasped. He reached out toward Adanna and then dropped to the ground, still cold, lifeless. By morning, the people of Yucca found Chima's body lying in the square. His face pale, two strange marks on his neck. The villagers gathered around, confused. What kind of snake could do this? They asked. But no one knew. No one saw Adanna leave. She was gone before sunrise. Her aunt's hut was empty. Her flute was gone, but something had changed in Yucca. The deaths stopped. The fear faded. Peace returned. And the people never spoke of Chima again.